For the last 2 years, I have read webtoon after webtoon after webtoon. And because of that, all the profitable webtoons to make videos on are taken! All the bad ones, at least. And with that, I think it's about time we take up a new venture! That's right, folks. The funny taco man will start reading manga! Just to be clear, I'm not dropping webtoons, they're still gonna be a regular part of the channel. And I'm not entirely sure if manga will be a regular thing on this channel either, since the Japanese are notorious for being ops with the fair use law. Anyways, over the time I've made webtoon content, I've gotten people begging me to make some videos covering manga. Alright, maybe in the community post I made, there was this one comment that suggested this one manga called My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute. And with a title like that, and the content I cover already, there was only one thing for me to do. Now, since the freaking plot of the manga is right in the title, there isn't really much we gotta say wondering what it could be about. All I'll hope for is that it's not as bad as the title insinuates. You know, maybe they mean little sister metaphorically, and it's just their best friend who's like a year younger. Anyways, I'll just read until I feel like I'm on the verge of gouging my eyeballs. So, without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. We start off with our main protagonist, Kyosuke, describing himself as an ordinary, boring, everyday high schooler. In contrast, he describes his sister, Kirino, as someone who, even without makeup, is drop-dead gorgeous. Now, if he left it at that, if all he said was, my little sister isn't ugly, she's a good-looking person, then this would be fine. But then he goes into detail about why his little sister is attractive, almost feeling like it's his crush instead of, well, his little sister. And then he says, and I quote, having a girl like that in your home, in your family, pretty distracting, wouldn't you say? Oh gosh, this thing wastes no time. And apparently, this guy doesn't even have a good relationship with his sister. As we can see, when they bump into each other, he tries to pick up her stuff, and she smacks his paws away for even thinking of helping her. As he ponders why she hates him so much, he notices a little book hidden under a piece of furniture, and it appears to be one of those magic girl comics. I'm assuming that the sister dropped it, which is so unrealistic. Everyone knows that if it's marketed towards little girls, the opposite will be customer number one. After further examination, it was only the cover of the magic girl comic, and the actual comic in it is called Let's Fall in Love with Lil Sister. Dude, I'm genuinely confused on the implications of this. The title implies he likes his little sister. Gosh, it feels gross just saying that. Not the other way around, right? So why does she have this comic? Is it? Oh no. Is this her fantasy too? What next, man? Are your parents siblings too? In order to find out who the manga belongs to, he subtly brings it up during dinner time to see what reactions the family gives. His parents give normal reactions to the topic, but his little sister is a little suspicious when the topic is brought up. Even with the obvious signs pointing to his sister, he still doubts it to be her. So in order to see if it's true, he pretends to leave the manga in his room to see if she'll try and get it back. And lo and behold, who is it that he finds? And that's a rather compromising position he finds her in. Oh dear. Well, since this is probably going to be terribly not safe for work, I guess I'll just wrap up the video here.
Chalupa, the video isn't long enough.
I know it isn't long enough! Kyosuke asks Kirino what she's doing in his room, knowing very well why she's there, and she tries to intimidate him to get out of the way. But she has no leverage since her deepest, darkest secret is in his hands. And despite literally jumping for it, she immediately denies that it's hers. How are you gonna deny something so obvious, brah? It's like if you took out someone in broad daylight, right in front of the police, and then pleaded not guilty. Noticing she's about to cry, he gives it back to her, telling her to hide it better next time. Then she asks him if it's strange to own her freaking sister kink manga, and he says it's not weird, that he won't make fun of someone's hobbies. Now if her quote-unquote hobby was something like toy collecting, urban exploring, ghost hunting, then I would say he's a good big brother. But this? What do you mean it's not weird? Everything about it is weird! She's your little sister, and she enjoys reading little stepsister manga without the step! It doesn't even matter if you're just trying to be nice to her, man. Don't tell her, oh yeah, it's not that weird. I'll never judge someone's hobby. Grow some balls and send her to therapy! She finally goes back to her room, leaving him thinking that it's been so long since he's had a conversation with his little sister, as he goes to sleep. And he wakes up to this nightmare! She's on top of him. She then asks him if he could go to her room, which he thinks he's thinking what I hope is the wrong idea. In her room, she asks him over and over if he thinks her interests are weird, to which he incorrectly says no over and over. Eventually, she trusts him enough to reveal her most horrid secret, something I like to call the Diddy Dungeon. She's even more of a freak than I thought, since she's gushing over this freaky-ass subject. A subject so terrible, I'm not even gonna screenshot the covers for her mangas. And this delusional brother still tells her an obviously weird subject isn't weird, and as he tries to leave, she goes up to him like he's not her older brother. Hey man, you kept on saying it wasn't weird to her, making her think you at the very least accepted the idea of this. You made your bed, now lie in it. Oh my gosh, no, wait, don't lie in it! Kirino accuses Kyosuke of trying to run away, and well, if your sibling has you pinned like this, I think running would be the sane response. She then goes on a huge yap session about how this Little Sister series is so peak, giving reasons why, from the way they talk, to the way they look, to how she wants to bear hug them. You know, I don't usually say this in my videos, but if the roles were swapped and he was the freak, I think the plot might change. He then asks her how did she even end up liking this, to which she says even she doesn't know, she just ended up liking it. So it's a fetish, gotcha. Now I know those are a bit more tricky to deal with, but there is always a solution. She is horrified at the idea of her dad finding out, since he's so old-fashioned, and she should be. Instead of something quick and effective like my solution, he'd probably send her to concentration camp, along with a sledgehammer. He tells her he'll help her, to which she's so happy she makes this face. And this one. He then asks her if this obsession of hers extends to anything else, to which she says that's gross, and she only likes it because it's fictional. Dude, I don't think that's how it works. If you shoot someone in GTA, then that's fine, because it's a meaningless act in a video game. If someone enjoys attacking women specifically in those games though, then that person might have a problem. You see what I mean here? And if the person in question is fantasizing over these actions, it just might be time to seek professional help. Kyosuke's best friend, Monami, notices he's been quiet lately and asks him what's up. He tells her she doesn't have to worry about it, calling her nosy, and then she blushes from that? How does she interpret that as a compliment? He called her nosy, didn't glaze her or anything. Wait, what's that on her head? Oh no. Cat ears? She's... A werecat? Kyosuke, please, with all the stamina you got, run! She's not blushing out of being given a compliment. She's blushing out of excitement at the prospect of eating you! We cut to Kyosuke playing one of his sister's illegal games, and fortunately for us, he chooses the sensible option in the game. Unfortunately, that's not the option his sister wanted. Frickin' lunatic she is. She even says she's helping him play the game properly, which, if she had any sense, she'd know the proper way to play it would bar you from getting close to a school and the family reunion. He then makes her realize how odd it is for a brother to like a sister like that. But then I guess we're supposed to feel bad for her since she's getting a tamer game and she won't be able to freely share her illegal fantasies to him. And then this doormat of a brother agrees to playing the not safe for work game, which she calls homework. What am I reading? What do you mean finishing this NSFW sibling love game is homework? What are you teaching him? How to get a degree in Diddynomics? I tell you, if him playing those games goes public, say goodbye to ever having a social life. He then asks Monami in a subtle way how can he find Kirino some friends who can match her freak, and she suggests going to social networking services. Now I understand this is meant to be a huge turning point in the story. Now Kirino can find like-minded people and not be lonely in her hobbies. But see, all I'm thinking is,
there's 2 of them?
You're telling me she's not only gonna be enabled to keep on doing this, but she's not gonna be the only one? You know, I was gonna read 5 chapters in total, but I'll let the dog take it away. Oh boy, is it a terrible day to know how to read. You know what? Let's have a 5-second moment of silence, shall we? What was the thought process going into writing this? Alright, I'll give them a bit of faith and try and make out the moral if you can make one out of this. Maybe what they were trying to go for was that when someone has hobbies that society deems as not normal, they shouldn't be shunned and you should let them embrace those hobbies. Man, that's actually a pretty good moral. Maybe we shouldn't treat this thing so. How is this meant to be embraced? Not only that, but even with her saying she only likes it when it's fictitious, some of the positions they're in make me believe otherwise. Matter of fact, actually, what is with all the imagery of the 14-year-old girl in suggestive positions? I swear this thing is not doing anime/manga fans any favors. You guys want to hear something crazy, like actually crazy? This thing is popular enough to, believe it or not, have its own PSP games! How do you even win at this? If you don't seduce your sister within a week, you fail! And if you win, you can play as Luigi. Anyways, I don't want to cover this thing much more, so final statement? Anyways, it is my pleasure to say that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching this video in its entirety. If you guys like this video, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you guys haven't already, then consider joining the channel membership or Patreon to further support this channel. If you guys have any video suggestions or anything else you want me to read, then please leave it in the comments section below. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.